I have recently bought a Roland DJ-70, quite cheap. I paid just 90 euros for it, but the screen was really dim, almost unreadable, so I soon decided to replace it. And apart from another minor problem with the volume knob, it was working perfectly. So after a quick search, I came up with this 240 by 64 LCD display on AliExpress for about 22-25 euros. And it just arrived after about 10 days and worked really great. And so this is a short guide on how to replace the screen. First, you need to unscrew the unit. It's very simple to do because it's only about 10 screws on the back of the unit, so simply unscrew them and then remove the plastic cover for the scene. Then remove the connector for the screen and also remove the ribbon cable and the connector going to the inverter. You will not need it anymore. And you can remove the old panel. It's very simple. As you can see in the picture, it's just held by 4 screws, and then there are additional couple of screws for a small board with a couple of LEDs. So simply remove the connector going to the main board and unscrew the 4 screws that I'm showing you in the picture. Then, once the display is free, you will need to desolder the connector. This was the most boring part and also the most difficult part, going to the old screen. And you can see the old screen in the upper part of this picture and video, and the new one in the lower part of this video. You see that they have similar connector, but the old one has 20 pins and the new one will have 22 pins. And beside the 22 pins, the size of the new displays was identical. It's only a bit taller than the old one, as you can see it, but you can fit it using longer screws. And luckily on these new displays, pins from 1 to 20 are identical, while pins 21 and 22 are for the LED backlight. So pin 21 is for the plus 5 volts and pin 22 is for GND or 0 volts. Now it's time to resolder back the 20-pin connector on the new display, and then connect a couple of wires to pin 21 and 22. I just use a couple of headers that I have lying around, but you can also solder the 2 wires directly on the 2 pads 21 and 22. These 2 pads need to be connected to plus 5 volt and 0 volt, and this can easily be obtained from the cables going to the floppy connector, for example, or from the inverter circuit, which is a bit more difficult. So I simply stripped half centimeter of cable naked from the Molex connector going to the floppy disk and took these 2 cables from the 5 volt, which is usually the red one on the Molex, and the black one, which is the GND. After removing the display, the inverter on my unit was started making a lot of high-pitched noise, so I just checked the schematics and tried to bypass the inverter by just removing this small capacitor, which is C75, which provides current to the inverter, so no more problems with high-pitched noise. And finally, a quick test before closing the unit. As you can see, the display is working really great and it's really clear. You can see the 2 additional cables, the black and red cables going to pin 22, 21 and 22. And the display is really bright. There is, of course, a control for the LCD contrast on the back of the unit, so you can use any kind of contrast and adjust it to your taste. And so this is a very quick and easy fix for just 20 euros.